Hi everyone, welcome to a new session of Science of Cooking with the Indus Valley. I'm Madhumita. Varied sources of different kinds of spices. The most popular could be black pepper, cinnamon, clove, turmeric, fenugreek, and so on. When all of this is brought together in different blends, it forms masalas. Masalas like your curry masala, garam masala, and so on. In this video, we'll also understand the right combination of spices in order to derive these tasty masalas. Making a spice blend is like mixing a perfect song. It needs various different ingredients in the right proportion to make it flavorful and full of aroma. So all of these different spices come together with its own unique flavors. Let's take the example of garam masala. Garam masala typically has cardamom, clove, cinnamon, cumin, and coriander. Each of these contribute different flavor notes to the masala, which overall really uplifts the flavor of your dish. A freshly ground garam masala would have the following flavors. The cinnamon will give warmth and sweetness. The cardamom will give floral nature. The cloves will give pungent yet sweet flavor. The cumin is extremely earthy, and citrusy nature comes from the coriander. All of this blended together is a very good addition to your food. There are various kinds of spices. Let's categorize them into 12 different types. It will help us create our own blends of spices and figure out what goes with what, and this will be an easy process. The first spice category that we are going to consider are the sweet warming phenols. This give a very sweet and warm taste to our palate. For example, the eugenol component that comes from cloves. Whenever you tend to chew on a clove, you get that very warm yet sweet kind of a flavor. It's a very good addition to any dessert. The next category is the warming terpenes. A good example of this is nutmeg. The sabine in nutmeg offers this very warm, nutty, minty, peppery yet slightly bitter flavor. Nutmeg is a very good addition, especially when you're baking. The third category is fragrant terpenes. Linalool in coriander seeds is a very good example. It gives a very unique, fruity, floral and herbal flavor to your food. It's very common across West and North India to add some crushed coriander seeds to your sabji. It gives this very light, fruity and floral aroma to your food, in addition to adding lovely texture too. The fourth category is earthy terpenes. A very good example of this is cumin that is found in ajwain. It has a very unique flavor. It's very earthy, it's very woody, and it has this very burnt aftertaste. That's why it adds an excellent flavor base in masalas, and it's also used as a mouth freshener. The fifth category that we're going to see is penetrating terpenes. A good example of this component is cinnol, which is found in cinnamon. Cinnamon typically has a very sharp, camphorous and very eucalyptus-like smell. What this allows you to do is bring a lot of freshness to your food. It's very common to add this spice in biryani for the extra kick. The sixth category is sulfurous compounds. Diallyl disulfide, which is present in garlic, is a very good example. Garlic has very oniony, meaty and kind of a pungent odor. Left alone, not all of us like it, and you might have garlic breath after it. A good way is to roast it to remove a little bit of the pungency while you retain all of its anti-inflammatory properties. The seventh category is citrus turpentine. Citral, which is present in lemongrass, is a really good example for the same. If any of you have tried biting into lemongrass or have added it into your tea, you'll remember that it has a very bright, citrusy, tangy kind of a flavor, and it also has very herbal and very flowery kind of aroma to it. It's a very good addition into all of your teas and any other liquids where you want to have that additional brightness without having to have the sourness of a lemon. The eighth category is sweet and sour acids. A good example for the same is tamarind. It derives its sweet and sour taste from the plant sugars. This is a very common ingredient that is used across South India. Kokum is another example, which is typically used as a substitute for tamarind. The ninth component is fruity aldehydes. A very good example for this is curry leaves. The nonal in the curry leaves gives a very green, fresh, fruity flavor with a little bit of fatty nuances. A South Indian kitchen is not complete without its curry leaves, which is typically used for tempering all kinds of food. The 10th category is toasty pyrazine. A good example of this is cumin. It offers a very nutty, toasty, caramel-like flavor with a smoky and meat-like nuance. Cumin is very common and forms the base of a lot of blends of masalas. The 11th category of spices is pungent compounds. So these offer that very sharp taste of spice which hits on your pain nerves. A very good example is capsaicin that is present in chilies and pepperin that is present in black pepper. It always gives you the kick that you need in your food. The 12th and last category is called as unique compounds. A good example of this is the saffronal compound that is present in saffron. These are typically spices that do not fit into the above categories and have a very unique flavor to them. Now let's understand how to make spice blends. Spice blends elevate your dish and add a new depth to them that you have never experienced before. In order to create a well-balanced spice blend, we'll have to ensure that we have high-quality ingredients. We toast them for the right amount of time. We have specific ratios in which we mix them, and we need to store them in an airtight container. These are some basic steps that will ensure that we have wonderful spice mixes to add to different dishes. The same dish with different spice mixes can result in different kinds of cuisines and flavors. Let's now understand how to make our own spice blend. There are 3 layers that we'll have to consider in order to make a spice blend. First is signature. second is supporting, and third is supplementary. The first is signature spices. This gives a unique, distinct flavor and personality to your spice blend. It makes it stand out and shine. You can consider it to be the star of your spice blend. Let's take the example of curry. When you make a curry blend, typically it is turmeric, cumin and coriander which forms the base. It lends itself to be the signature component within the spice blend. The second category are supporting spices. Think of supporting spices as sidekicks to the superhero. So they perform the duty of elevating and enhancing the flavor of your spice blend. They need to complement and contrast the main spices that you had selected before. So ensure that it will be a good contrast and a balance between the main spices that we have selected. For example, in a curry paste or the curry spice blend, typically we would use ginger, cardamom and cinnamon. It will bring its own flavors to the party and enhance the flavor of your spice blend. Third is supplementary spices. This is completely optional, but I would strongly recommend it because it adds a lot of depth and nuance into your spice blends. It could be herbs, it could be seeds or other spices that adds a little bit of undertone of flavor. Let's go back to the curry spice blend example. In that, we typically use things like fenugreek, mustard seeds and fennel seeds, which brings its own flavor into the spice blend. Now that you know the 3-level layering of spices that's needed to create a spice blend, here are the steps you should follow to create your own signature spice blend. The first step is to ensure you get the signature spices right and figure out the ratio in which you want to mix it. It's a very simple trial and error. Once you have that, take an opposite spectrum of spices. This should be complementing your signature spices. So this is called as supporting spices. Figure out the ratio. You could stop there. It's a very good spice blend in itself. But if you want to add that extra depth and nuance to your spice blend, do choose additional herbs or seeds that will bring in a little bit more flavor in the background. So that would be your supplementary spices. Keep experimenting, keep figuring out and figure how you want to make your own spice blend the way you like it. Spices can make or break a dish. Now that you know the science behind spices and how it pairs very well with each other, you are the master of your kitchen. You can decide to invent and reinvent a lot of traditional dishes and figuring out different pairings of spices and enjoy your cooking process while you're at it. I hope you enjoyed this video and it was very informational to you. If you did, don't forget to like this video and share it with all of your friends. Check out more videos on our YouTube channel and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.